All right, how's it going? No video today, but I kind of wanted to go over this comment thread that was left in my video. I posted this video a couple days ago. 7 shocking truths from a helicopter pilot. And this thread was really interesting to me, so I kind of want to talk about it. Now, this is like really getting into the nitty gritty of becoming a helicopter pilot, the requirements. Is it a good idea? Is it a bad idea? So we're going to read through this. Now, shout out to these two guys. I'm assuming they're both guys, but shout out to these two for commenting this. First off, I just enjoy that there's a community on here that can talk about this stuff. But shout out to these two. So, Rick says, as badly as we need helicopter pilots, I'd have to recommend going fixed wing for a young professional pilot due to the difference in salaries. The airlines are actually poaching helicopter pilots at some of the flight safety facilities. If you stick with helicopters and you ever plan to fly helicopter air ambulance, you have to get those night hours. So just for a start, if you're thinking about becoming a pilot and you want to be a pilot, first off, the best advice I have for you is if you want to fly airplanes, go fly airplanes. If you want to fly helicopters, fly helicopters. Do what you want to do. But then, of course, you do have to factor in all the different things about like pay, lifestyle. You're going to get paid way more to be an airline pilot. I mean, it's going to take a while. You're going to get paid more, but also you're going to be away from home for more. You're going to be away a lot more. So there's a lot of factors to consider, but I also have seen this that airlines are kind of trying to snatch up helicopter pilots because they already have a lot of hours and a conversion is not that hard. But you need to get night hours. That is true. Let's keep going. Joseph says, meh, we still need 1,000 hours just to give rides over Vegas. They clearly don't need helicopter pilots that badly. So that is accurate. It is accurate, yeah. So like he's probably talking about Papillon or Maverick helicopters. They fly tours over Vegas. Actually, let's look that up real quick. Maverick helicopters, pilot jobs. I think they fly Grand Canyon or, let's see. Janitor, tour pilots, Las Vegas. So this is Las Vegas. 1,000 hours total time. And CFI and instrument preferred. So they're flying in Las Vegas, yeah, and Grand Canyon. So you need 1,000 hours just to give rides over Vegas. Well, Maverick and Papillon, they're flying the EC-130, a very nice helicopter. So they want you to have quite a bit of time. But that is kind of insane that you need that much time to give rides over Vegas. So they clearly don't need helicopter pilots that badly. That's not the reason. It's not that they're holding that high minimum just because they want that high minimum. It's for insurance reasons, I'm sure. If they could have 200-hour pilots flying, they might if they were really struggling with a shortage, but they need that out of insurance, and I think Rick is going to talk about that here. He says, operators have no choice with that. It's either insurance requirements or governing bodies such as CAMTS. I actually don't know what... Hold on, let's look at what CAMTS stands for. CAMTS. Commission of Accreditation of Medical Transport Systems. Oh, that sounds like that makes perfect sense. Okay, great. You learn something new every day. Okay, requirements such as CAMTS with respect to helicopter air ambulance. Trust me, there is a shortage of helicopter pilots who meet the minimum requirements with regard to experience. I am a lead pilot at a helicopter air ambulance base, and we are at 50% staffing. The program that I work for is at 50% staffing overall as well. Sorry, I read that really weird. The program that I work for is at 50% staffing overall as well, and we're not getting applicants for our open positions. Compensation has improved significantly over the last year or two. Hang in there and get your hours, and it will eventually pay off. I can't stress enough how important it is to get your night hours. For the pilots who are currently flying tours but want to work helicopter air ambulance at a specific location, the lack of nighttime is usually what disqualifies them, and it cannot be waived for that certified program. Good luck. So that's really interesting to me. So a 50% level of staffing, that's really significant. That's really a problem. And that's kind of the vibe I'm picking up from the entire industry, that there's tons of shortages all over. So I believe that. Now, I've never really... Nighttime hours have never really been stressed that much. Like, of course, you're going to get night hours. You need night hours, but that's never really been, like, a concern that people have had, or, like, the struggle into the industry. It's always been like the turbine hours or the instrument hours, or just the mass number of hours, like 1,500, 2,000, 2,500 hours. I've never really heard it so specifically the 200 hours, but that's really, I mean, that's great information. And I mean, that's coming from a lead pilot who's flying these aircraft, doing helicopter air ambulance, that you need those night hours. So go get those night hours. I'm still working towards my like 200. I think you need 200 night hours. Actually, let's look. So this is justhelicopters.com. My favorite helicopter job website. Absolutely love Just Helicopters. So this is for Reach, pilot VFR rotary wing in California. So, okay, here requirements: 2,000 flight hours. That's classic. 1,500 helicopter hours, typical. 1,000 hours of PIC. That's typical. 1,000 turbine is also typical. And then minimum of 200 helicopter night flight hours, aided or unaided. You're going to be flying the A-Star AS350. So 200 helicopter night hours. This one is, so that was flying an AS350 and A-Star. This is flying a Bell 407, and this is for Medtrans. 2,000 total flight hours, 1,500 helicopter, 1,000 PIC, 1,000 turbine, 200 hours night flight hours. So these are insurance requirements, but also kind of like Rick was talking about, that CAMTS. Why can't I remember that acronym anymore? Commission of Accreditation of Medical Transport Systems. So that's where they're getting the requirements, I'm sure. And then this last one is Medtrans as well, flying the EC-135, a beautiful helicopter. 2,000 total flight hours, 1,000 hours PIC, 1,000 turbine, 200 night. And this one is flying EC-135 IFR, I think. It doesn't say IFR, but the requirements are 200 hours of instrument hours, actual hooded or simulated, 50 hours in actual weather in aircraft. That's a lot, man. Like, 50 hours of actual IFR time, that's a lot of time. But nonetheless, so that's really interesting. So Joseph says, I have 379 hours, but with only 800 total, nobody cares. It's a really big proportion. Like 800 total with 379 hours, that's quite a bit. But Rick says, you're close, keep plugging away. It sucks to have to pay your dues, but you'll get there. Hang in there and good luck. If you're ever in northern Arizona and you want to visit my base, private message me. That comment right there, it just brings such a smile to my face. Like, besides what we're talking about, that's why I started this YouTube channel. It's really awesome to just like see this community, people just talking to each other. That's really cool, and just good positive reinforcement. You know, coming from a lead pilot, someone that's been in the industry and is doing a cool job now, what a lot of us want to do. He says, you'll get there, hang in there, and good luck. That's just awesome. So shout out to you, Rick. And then Joseph says, lol, I've been close for almost a decade. I'd have paid the dues last year, but at $12 an hour to give Reds an R44, I just had to write an IOU. So, yeah, $12 an hour, I mean, I think that's probably a little, I mean, pilots are probably making 15 to 20 flying tours, maybe a bit more. And then especially with tips, you're definitely making more than $12 an hour. But I get it, like flying tours in an R44 is not ideal. But this was just like a really interesting chain. Just becoming a helicopter air ambulance pilots, the requirements, what people are actually seeing in the industry, how people are feeling about the industry. Just really awesome. So I'll leave it there. But I love all of you guys leaving comments and asking questions and talking to each other in the channel. It's really, really cool to see. Hope you guys have a good rest of your day, and peace out.